Hello, Namaskaram. Kathoram Special Leka, Ellavarkum Swagatham. ഞാൻ ലീന. ഇന്ന് നമ്മളോടൊപ്പമുള്ളത് Cyril Alex. Cyril ഈ വർഷം Immunology and Infectious Diseaseൽ നിന്നും ഗ്രാജുവേറ്റ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നു യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി ഓഫ് ആൽബർട്ടയിൽ നിന്നും. വെൽക്കം Cyril.
Hi, thank you for having me.
ആദ്യമായിട്ട് എനിക്ക് ചോദിക്കാനുള്ളത് Cyril ഇതൊരു കോമൺ ടോപ്പിക് അല്ലല്ലോ ഇമ്മ്യൂണോളജി. എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഈ ടോപ്പിക്കിലേക്ക് വന്നത്? ഗ്രേഡ് 12 ആയപ്പോൾ how did you decide to take up this topic?
So in grade 12, there was a lot of options on what you could do in going into university. And for me, I found that I wanted to pursue a career path in medicine, and I found that of the multitude of ways to do that, I thought infection and immunology would give me a different background compared to the rest of the pool or the candidates who are aiming to enter medicine. And I think because medicine is fundamentally about understanding infection and how to treat people with infection, I thought this would be a very enlightening degree option to understand infection better, and it would provide me a very strong foundation when I go into medicine.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about immunology. How would you define that?
So immunology is fundamentally the study of immunity, right? And animals have it, humans have it, even insects have it, right? So it is understanding how an organism defends itself from infectious agents.
Any intriguing things that you have learned over the past 4 years?
Yeah, there are a lot of topics when we consider immunology. We can look at the side where we are defending ourselves from foreign invaders, or we can look at research on how foreign invaders evolve and mutate to better infect their host. So some interesting topics come to mind is my previous research in creating cancer-killing viruses. Additionally, there are studies about pain and thresholds of tolerance based on hormones that are secreted by the body, and along with a variety of other topics, including coronavirus and HIV. There is a lot of interesting and new frontier research on these.
So tell me a little bit more about your research. There's a lot of research done on this topic over a number of years, but tell me a little bit more about your research.
So the project that I worked on for my undergraduate thesis was to create a virus that encoded a gene in the virus that helped aid the immune system to kill the cancer. So fundamentally, this is a type of immunotherapy where the patient would receive this virus, and the virus would infect the cancer cells, and it would be able to create this receptor and this cancer molecule on the infected cancer cells, and it would help the immune system detect and kill these cancer cells better.
You touched on the topic of coronavirus. Tell me a little bit more about what you know on this.
So coronavirus, it comes from the family SARS coronavirus. So SARS is severe acute respiratory syndrome, right? That's the physical manifestation of the disease it causes. And coronavirus 1, that occurred, that used to be called MERS, the Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome. And then this new version, this COVID-2, or the COVID-19, is one that we saw arise in Wuhan, China. So some general things that we need to know about it is it's almost a simpler virus. It is a simple single-stranded RNA virus. And the way they replicate is very almost quick and dirty. They just want to get into the cell. They want to quickly unravel, quickly duplicate, and quickly destroy the cell and continue to spread their virus. But the interesting thing about coronavirus compared to other single-stranded RNA viruses is that coronavirus can actually proofread. It has that ability to go back and ensure that every part of its genetic sequence is for the most part maintained, while other single-stranded RNA viruses cannot do this. So it's some interesting conserved function that it has. So additionally, there's a lot of ways that coronavirus now is being used for research, and it's trying to be understood in how it mutates, and there's a lot of frontier research that is being conducted on it.
With the pandemic, there's a tendency to over-sanitize. Sometimes I try to over-sanitize, and I've seen my friends do that too. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, so I do believe that masking with the correct masks is something that does help prevent quite a bit the transmission of the air droplets that contain coronavirus. Sanitizing is good, wearing a mask is good, like the N95s or the surgical masks, but when we get to obsess over sanitization, it can actually cause a problem. And this problem is, it's predominantly seen in our developed countries, where if we over-sanitize, this concept of over-sanitization where we have no germs or no bugs in our surroundings, actually hampers our immune system. And this is the hygiene hypothesis. It states the idea that if you over-sanitize or if you over-clean your surroundings, your immune system isn't actively exposed to these little bugs and these little germs and these viruses and funguses that we're naturally meant to defend off of because our environment is so clean. But when you look at developing or underdeveloped nations, because they don't sanitize as frequently, their immune system is a lot more educated in a sense. Despite vaccination, they're able to fight off the little things, and they only get sick from very grave diseases. So here, especially with over-sanitization, you can see in the developed world, you can see a lot of cases of Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, right? Because there could be this linking where over-sanitization can cause an undereducated immune system.
Oh, it sounds very interesting. So after you have done all your studies, if somebody is interested, what is the advice that you would like to give to young graduates from school? What is the advice you would like to give?
I think with new graduates coming out of high school, I think it is very important that they have a strong work ethic, right? Regardless of whatever degree they choose, having a strong work ethic and being passionate about the degree that you choose is very important, whether it's engineering or immunology or physiology. The first 2 years for many biology degrees are very common, but after that second year is where you begin to specialize and differentiate. And to get into immunology, I would recommend the incoming student to maybe do some research on something they would like within infection or immunology, whether it's they like to understand how viruses or how bacteria are able to circumvent our systems, or how we are able to amplify our immunity against growing diseases and growing issues.
So that's good advice, Cyril. Thanks for that. What are the career prospects, or what do they do after a 4-year degree program?
So for career prospects, there are two main branches in my head. The first branch is to continue within academia or within school, which includes completing a master's and a PhD and potentially becoming a professor that teaches immunology. So staying within that academia route, you could take your immunology knowledge and you can apply to a variety of professional degrees. I have friends who have gone into medicine, who have gone into law, who have gone into pharmacy. So it provides you a good foundation on getting into professional programs. Additionally, a very lucrative career path could be industry, whether it is going to private pharmaceuticals and drug companies, and with your knowledge you're able to support them in creating immunological drugs or assays or therapies that they can use for profit.
Thank you so much, Cyril, for sharing your knowledge and your advice with us today. I want to wish you all the best for your future career prospects, and thanks for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, and thank you for watching.